Well guys, it has been a long time since I made a video talking about survival guns, talking about firearm selection for preppers. I can't remember the last video that I did on this topic actually. It's been so long ago. If you remember what it was, put it in the comments below because I actually forgot. If you do so many videos, you forget what videos you've actually done. And I know the last one was probably at least a year ago because I can't remember when that it was actually. So I thought today I would make a video talking about survival firearms selection for self-defense. And most people, when they think about a prepper's firearm, something for self-defense, for the shoot at the fan situation, a raw situation, world without rule of law, that's hard to say, world without rule of law, raw. When they're thinking about choosing firearms for that purpose, they automatically think about, an AR-15 with all the latest accessories, all tricked out, ready to go AR-15. And there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. I have AR-15s also. I like mine. But there are other ways to go, and this could be actually a better way to go because in the long run it's going to be a whole lot cheaper. And it's going to be more convenient. It's going to be more easily to stockpile ammunition and magazines for this combination we'll talk about here in a minute. So, there are easier ways. If you have an AR-15 and you trick that out with all the latest accessories and all the magazines and ammunition, you have a handgun also with all the magazines, all the ammunition you have to buy separately. That gets into a lot of money actually. But you can do it with something like this right here. This is Ruger carbine. This is 9mm and it will use Glock magazines. So you have this rifle, this carbine, or carbine, how you want to say it. People say it different. I always call it carbine. Some people call it a carbine. But this carbine is very reliable. It's kind of heavy. It's as heavy as an AR-15 is actually, but it will actually come apart into two sections for storage. You can see here. So it's good for storage also, to make a compact package. 9mm, and it will use Glock magazines. You can also change the inside of this magazine rail here. It comes with two different inserts, and one will allow to use Glock magazines, Glock 17, Glock Model 19 magazines. You can use those in this, and you'd also use the Ruger magazines for the Ruger handguns. I don't have no Ruger handguns actually, but I have several Ruger rifles, 1022s. I have some bolt action rifles, 308, 223. But this right here is an excellent self-defense weapon. Low recoil, it's accurate. Out to 100 yards, you can pop human-sized target every shot with this thing. You can put different optics on this. It has ghost ring sights, which I actually like. Good compact package. Glock 17 magazine. I'm going to put this down and insert this magazine because with the YouTube rules you can't insert, or at least you couldn't unless they changed those rules, a magazine into a firearm on video, or it's considered modifying when this is how it actually works. You have to use magazines with these because it's the way it works, but YouTube doesn't understand that apparently. So I'll put this down here to insert this magazine. You can see here, Glock 17 magazine. Another good thing about this carbine is that you can actually, charging handle right here, you can actually take this and put this on this side. If you prefer it on this side, you can put it on this side or the other side, and it will depend on if you're right or left-handed, or which one you prefer. It has a rail here, sling swivels. This thing is excellent for a home defense firearm. And you combine this with the Glock 19, Glock 17, or something like this, Glock 34. This is my personal bedside Glock 34 tactical model, ghost ring sights, extended magazine. This magazine will also work in the Ruger carbine. You can put back the same type ammo, 9mm. You can put back the same magazines that will interchange with your handgun and your carbine. So that definitely makes things more simple. because that way, when you go buy a box of 9mm ammunition, you can use that in your defensive carbine and your handgun. Simple. You don't have to buy 9mm or 45 ACP and then 223 or 5.56. It's interchangeable. So you just go buy 9mm, put that back and stockpile at 9mm. Instead of buying two different types of magazines, just go buy Glock 17 magazines, Glock magazines for your Glock Model 19, maybe an extended 33 round magazine. Simple. It makes things less complicated and it makes things a whole lot cheaper. And I have never had this carbine to fail. Every time I pull the trigger, pow, 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 pow. And this, even though it's a 9mm, the same caliber your handgun is in, you have a longer barrel, you have a longer sight radius, you have a lot better accuracy with this, you have a lot longer range with this, out to 150 yards. I mean, if you know how to shoot, and you know how much bullet drop you're going to have, you know how far to hold up over the target, you can hit targets like human-sized targets 150 yards or more with this. Once you actually practice with it and get it sighted in, know your bullet drop with the type of ammunition that you have, you can take longer shots with this than you can a handgun. Handgun, typically up close, this will extend your range. Good penetration actually out of a rifle, 9mm does. Excellent. You know, back in the old West, when you had, cowboys on the range, things you see on television with the westerns and things, that's all fiction. However, they did have handguns and they would have lever action rifles, a lot of the times chambered for the same cartridge. They have the cartridges on their belt, so they could take and use those in their handgun or single action handguns, or they could take out their belt and put it in their lever action rifles. So it made it simpler. You can still find that combination. If you prefer a revolver, if you prefer a 357 Magnum revolver, you can get that. You can get a lever action rifle chambered in the same 357 Magnum caliber. That way you can still just store one type of ammunition, pick up one, put your handgun on, get your rifle, grab your ammunition, and away you go. You don't have to have two separate things to carry ammunition in. It's more convenient. It really is. It's a lot more convenient. I'm not saying to do this. I'm just saying it's something to consider. Another advantage to this is low recoil. It's heavy. Like I said, it weighs as much as an AR-15. I'm not weighted. I'm not looked at the weight on this, but I can tell by the way they feel. And this has low recoil because I've shot it enough I ought to know. But if you're using this for someone who is older, female, who can't handle a lot of recoil, this is also perfect. Or even a small male, this is perfect because of the recoil. But guys, there's a lot of advantages to this type of combination. Lots of advantages, I think. Something to look into. I'm not saying to do this. I'm just saying if you don't have firearms already and you're looking to get set up very quickly and you want to keep it as simple and cost effective as possible to get you a defensive carbine and a handgun, I would suggest this Ruger carbine in 9mm and a Glock Model 19. Put back as much 9mm ammunition as you can put back as many full capacity magazines as you can put back. The 15-round magazines for that Glock 19 will also work in this, and vice versa. Keep things simple. That's important. Keep it simple, stupid. If you liked the video, give it a big thumbs up. Put your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching. I'm the Creekmore, and I'll see you all in the next video, hopefully.